best of 3 series to an Endpoint 3era. 3era is down one map already. Their own map. This is Endpoint's home turf, so to say. And they're looking for retribution. They want to get to the finals to face possibly London or CX, but I think they'll want to face London just for that rematch potential, which was there before. Endpoint's looking to put the final nail in a 3era dream after their fantastic run through qualifiers. It seems like they've walked into a brick wall called Endpoint. And it's not just a wall, it's a wall which fights back. But 3era is showing some life into this pistol round. This might be one of the few pistol rounds where we've seen where it actually goes to T's way.
Ooh, but Mighty Max turn that right back around. Good headshot onto Danny. Got to do most of the damage because Thomas is low, and now he's dead. Looking back over towards the ramp where he spots one more. Good tags onto the second round. Can't quite take him down, and Mog will be able to get himself a 2K and claim the pistol to the favor of 3era. Nice start from the T side this time. You know, as you were saying, it's not very often you see a T side pistol go the favor, go at all. You know, you don't ever see a T side pistol come up on overpass. So nice start for 3era again, getting that early momentum, trying to see if they can swing things to their favor. If they can get a good half off the back of this, then it does mean that Endpoint might not be so far out of this one.
Yeah, 3era opting for the Mac 10s, trying to farm some cash, but a lot of head armor across the board apart from on Lazar. He's got that scout. I think he's playing on long position on A, but shouldn't see any resistance from that location. Looks like the T's are sort of swung around towards A, sent Mog round to try and cause some havoc. Draw out some of the CTs, bait them, and there is 4, I think, on this B site, so it'll just be Lazar caught out with the scout, jumps to find the information. He's just getting pushed by this Mac 10. He's trying to find where he is, walks straight to the boy. Wait, who greets him with open arms, but Pulse, you know, why greet him with open arms? Pulse is a Desert Eagle, and he shoved it straight into your head. That's the trigger. Equalized 4, straight to the waiting arms of Danny. Danny boy gets 2 kills for his troubles. Mighty Max does eventually go down. 3 vs 2. Mighty Max gets picked out open and Crip while he tries to pass over to the truck position. Pulse is left. Takes out Mr. Hoy. 1 vs 2. He's getting pressed on. Pushed forwards by Crip with a USB. Takes him down. 2-0 3era.
Endpoint, of course, forced to buy up there, so they were looking to try and do some damage and try so they can take 3era back for a ride. So they're back to pistols and basic eco here for the CT side. ZZs, PT50s, Deagles. Again, we're talking about that buy strategy, how a lot of teams tend to eco in that round, but in this case, Endpoint going to force the issue and will be forced out of the next round. 3-0 should be on the board for 3era. We should be looking at a buyback for Endpoint in the next round. Emi starts things off. Crit follows up onto Pulse. Very nice, nice start overall. CTs will try and aggress and try to see if they can catch them off guard, but no one is going to be falling very early on the T side. Well, gets another kill back on Mighty Max. Need to farm up those SMG monies. Indeed, he will be able to get 2 frags, but 3 kills coming in onto Crit actually. And we've got both those kills in the connector area, so never mind. I'm being an idiot. But 3-0 start again for 3era. It's exactly how we expect this to go. AWP coming in for Lazar and M4s across the board for Endpoint.
Yeah, but this is the buy round. This is where things get interesting. Choosing to keep those Mac 10s, not upgrading them. Could shoot them in the foot later on. Lazar has that AWP and he's terrifying on this map with it. He's devastating. Fantastic Orca goes for the peak and gets flashed out. So the shot swings wide. Ardilla as well played really well last night. Mighty Max get killed trying to go for that boost. But Danny Boy might be looking in towards Ardilla very soon. The smoke just separating them. As well might be about to get caught out by sandbags. Ardilla trying to pre-fire it. Chuck the grenade to do a bit of damage. He misses. It happens. Things slow down a bit. We're seeing a Molotov come out, but it's not a full X yet. He's trying to get into position. Crit finds Thomas. Ardilla finds the heads of him as well. I think nobody knows exactly where Lazar is, and Lazar doesn't even have time to react. When he managed to take down Mr. Hoy, and it's Pulse left in a 1 vs 4.
Yeah, a very, very difficult task for him up ahead. The M4 covered up by smoke at least, but the Molotov will just force him further back. At this point, probably should just consider the save, and indeed that's exactly what he's doing. But footsteps being heard, the next man out here, Emi, will catch him off guard and take him down. 3 kills for Crit, the main man of the moment for the 3era side. And a 4-0 start for 3era as well. This is actually looking surprisingly good. Again, we're saying Endpoint, get that CT side, get their choice aside, and now they're just going to Gonna run with it right to the hills at 3era's side of things. AWP and AK is happy to take control. In with the 5-7s, the Deagles, the CZs coming in.
Most important thing now for 3era is just not to lose members. Like winning the round, of course, is the ultimate goal. But if you lose 4 players, or even if you die and hand over a weapon to them so they can save it to the next round, you're aiding that CT economy, or you're closing the gap between the two. Like, there's not just a round score, it's also the economic score between the two teams, which is just as important. And if they want to have any way of winning this game, they've just got to shut Endpoint's economy down. Every time they have a gun round, just try and punish them as much as possible and keep as much weapons out of their hands as well at the same time. And Crit doing that fantastically, finds that frag into Thomas. Going very slowly, using utility as well as they go. Players have rotated round onto A site, and that will leave the B site open. 3era will plant, and it should go to 5-0.
Yeah, bomb plant coming through very quickly to the B bomb site. Pulse, Mighty Max, and Luzzer, all that are going to remain here. Deagles and 5-7s pretty much looking towards the headshots aplenty. 5-0 for 3era to start things off on the T side. The bomb has been planted and it will remain there. No real chance for Endpoint. Might be able to get some exit frags, but that's as far as they'll be able to go. Not even on Crit. Mighty Max can't land that kill. As Luzzer and Pulse get ready for the positions. And Pizza actually heard the footsteps. Win with the Deagle. Get the first shot on the boy. Damage done. Can he get the kill at the end? No, missing. Does finally take him down. Grab that AK and run for it. Does go back in the hands of Pulse, actually. Nice play, flew back in. Takes another player back. He will do some damage, actually. 3era will lose 3 players. It's going to be a very expensive round as Pulse does turn a lot of damage on that T side. They have got money to reinvest into it, so there's not major problems for 3era, but Endpoint. Still nice performance from Pulse and Co to try and get an AK out of it.
It was fine to go for that. Even losing that many players, it was completely correct decision to go for. It's the fact that AK still ended up in Pulse's hands.
Yeah.
Like that's the worst thing of all, and that's what they wanted to try and deny. Yes, they would have still been able to buy, but the point is Pulse would currently, instead of sitting on 3,600, would be sitting on 500 at the moment, which means if they win this round, if 3era win this round, Endpoint has no money at all to reinvest into the next round following on. And even if they win it, as long as they do even if Endpoint wins it, even if they do enough damage, then not going to have a sufficient buy to rebuy everything again. So Pulse with this AK, we can see if the spoils of war which he gained is going to aid him. Luzzer though, playing aggressive with that AWP along the toilet position. Pops the head off, and that's the early kill going over to Endpoint.
Minute on the clock. Rifle's trying to get picked up. Mog trying to turn that AWP back in. We saw what you could do with it on Cash. Let's see if he can get that glimpse into fruition. Pulse, however, has 2 frags that he wants. And Danny and Mr. Hoyer will pay for it. The bomb's been dropped. Mog will trade back onto Luzzer, but still, that's a 3-for-1 trade. Favor Endpoint. 3era may already be out this round. They'll still try and fight for it, but Mog going to burn alive. Create on a flank position. What can you do from here? Mighty Max is certainly ready for this fight action. Very edge of the smoke, gets the headshot. As Mog gets another frag, it's back to a 1 versus 2. Suddenly the trades are looking relatively good for the T side, but he has to take down the player on bomb site, plus the player rotating in. Gonna go ahead and rotate back in towards Connector as a result. Oh, this is gonna hear this. 20 seconds for the cross. Is Mog ready for it? Back his way out towards short Ardilla. Great spot, great cross, great spray, and a great round for Endpoint.
Very nicely done. Back in control. Did suffer a lot of casualties though. Going to put a little more pressure on their economy. They're still going to be able to full buy this round. But again, their economy's super low. If they get aced, like even if 3era, it's literally 1 player left standing and they win the round, Endpoint won't have enough money to rebuy. So still more of a favorable position for 3era, but Endpoint, if they find those opening kills with Luzzer, it's just may as well just be GG for that round, just go on to the next one. And especially that utility usage. God damn, that's a lot of damage.
Look, Emmy's still fighting it. They're going to try and rush this one down with this kind of a state. This is a very, very bad idea. Endpoint are going to take full control. 2-for-1 trade as Pulse and Thomas combine. Thomas going to get even more. 3 kills towards the short position. Mog finally trades it back, but he's still got 3 more to find of his own right. He's going to get dropped. 3era shut down immediately by the Endpoint utility usage. Molotovs and nades all tagging every single player, at least for a single point. And that's going to be 2 rounds on the board for the Endpoint side. Finally striking back and getting something on the board. 3era will reinvest for 1 more round. But again, a rush like that is never going to work in a scenario where you've been tagged up so hard. You have to play a default out. They had a minute and a half to try and get a man advantage, to try and get some sort of advantage above Endpoint. But nope, straight in rush. They committed to it all. As every single player was low. That was a terrible idea in my opinion.
No, I completely agree. Absolutely terrible idea. Completely the wrong call in that situation. But they were forced into a difficult position. Their setup was pretty bad at that point, and Pulse having even more problems.
Oh.
I was about to say, if he somehow wins that as well, even though with the Galil, he just shouldn't lose that. Pizza getting traded 1-for-1. Lazar. Emmy had to get that kill as well. If he went down, that was absolutely tragic. Just the man advantage. Emmy is the one who picks him off, not Mog. And that's 1 versus 3. So this is looking better for 3era. Health bars are very low, especially on Emmy. Bomb planting down, actually favoring the side that the CT player is on.
I don't think Artis wants to go for this though. He wants to look for the exit frags. 3era pretty much traded things right back away as soon as Endpoint got those first 2 frags. They were in very open positions, so that's what allowed the T side to peek up, get those frags, and get back out and get onto the bomb site. It's one of the 1 versus 3 scenario. So credit to them for being able to hold down control in this next round. Plus the fact that they've done so much damage to Endpoint in the last couple of rounds as well. Yeah, they have been relatively good rounds from Endpoint, even though they have been winning. They haven't been building up much money. You know, last round there were 3 players staying alive. The round before was 2. So still a lot of reinvestment to come through. Essentially 2 rounds worth of investment right there and then. So the Endpoint that leaves their economy in a pretty bad state overall. I probably would not. See, because you want to try to see if you can buy around the M4 to try and give it a bit of a boost. But 3era stand to gain a lot out of this T side. So for Endpoint just to go for this is a very, very questionable buy in my opinion. I would usually wait until we had a bit more money and then go for the full rifles off the back of this. Artis takes the M4 out to the B bomb site. Lazar, where's he playing in from? Also out on the B bomb site. They go for a bit of a stack. The first AWP face might be able to take one down. Indeed, Danny goes straight in and straight out thanks to the hands of the CT side.
Glass cannon on Lazar. Picks up the AWP, no armor, and makes it work, opening things up for Endpoint. Isn't it weird, like a team like 3era actually get on T side first, and suddenly they start doing well. It's almost like they're better on T side than CT. Who would have, thought it? Maybe they should start playing T side and picking T side more. We could see some more closer games, but hands up Pulse. Shut down by Crit. Crit being an absolute monster this game. 16 kills to 4 deaths, a 4 KD at the moment, 158 ADR. He is definitely having a good game. 6-2 on the scoreboard, soon to be 7-1 with 3era shut down Endpoint, and 7-1 is not the scoreline we're expecting. Like, why didn't 3era pick T-side on their own map? I don't understand. Please. Like, if you can push Endpoint on their map like this, imagine what you could have done on your own map in the first place. No, sorry, I'm getting upset because every team, which I said would be good on T-side, just hasn't done it. It's triggering at this point, but at least we get to see an exciting game. That's all. Like, because Endpoint, when they get to T-side, then we're going to get a masterclass in how this map should be played.
Well, I mean, we're striking nerves here at Grosvenor commentary, apparently. Are you okay, mate?
Trust me, I'm happy with 3era. I just think, like, the cash game would have been closer if they had, I think, made the correct decision of starting at T-side. Like, I think it was maybe it was a mistake. I don't know what they're thinking. Again, I'm outside here. I don't know the players personally what was going through their head. But it at least seems like that loss hasn't affected them that much. They've come into this game swinging as hard as they can. However, Endpoint has kind of helped them with some, as you said, questionable buys. Force buying when maybe you should just wait around until you can get a better buy across the board.
And that feeds into a point we're talking about on the desk with James. Obviously, we're talking about Endpoint's complacency. It's like, we can win this force fight. It'll be fine. Don't worry. 3era won't be able to get past us. And lo and behold, here they are ahead. Light Max, the crossfire. USP's out towards short. He'll get the first AK picked back up, but Emmy will deal with him all the same. So, chance there for Endpoint. They actually recovered a second rifle to back up the M4. So, Artis might be able to do some damage if he wants to turn on towards it, but no, Endpoint are going to back off. Nice try in this case, but no cigar for the CT side. It's a 8-2 now. favor of 3era. And I see a tactical pause coming through from Endpoint, unfortunately. So just getting that confirmed out. This is a good call. This is a very, very good call. Endpoint obviously realizing that they're making some mistakes here and there. They have got themselves 3 rifles to work with in the next round, plus the loss bonus means that the economy is going to start building. They're going to have a little bit of chance now to take the fight back to 3era. And again, you need to reset the mentality, not get complacent, not get cocky. They've been doing that all map so far, and it's not worked out for them.
And 100% the right call there. Back off. Don't take the fight. Try and save as many of the rifles as possible. And they ended up picking 2 more AKs for that reason, getting into this round. But as we said, it'll be Endpoint's tactical pause. So things are slipping out of their control. Questionable buys. Of course, having a chat about that. Looking to buy the rifles, I know, are full utility. Like, you can see how much those AKs help them out. Like, at this point, they'd be forced to have FAMASs or maybe even SMGs to get an extra bit of utility on some of those players. So, definitely making a difference. 3era, on the other hand, are sitting pretty. They have a lot of cash in the bank, a lot of money to play with, can play a lot more aggressively, and can take more risks, more high risk, high reward percentage plays.
They'll be looking extremely hot for it. $6,000, $7,000, $5,000 on the high rollers. 3era backed up by their main men. Although, not the greatest frag numbers on the board for certain players. You can see on the screen, 2 frags from Mr. Hoy.
The crit, 16. Absolute monster. Like, goddamn. And the thing is, it's not like eco frags or anything. He's getting some solid, he's winning those trades. He's on fire, he's in the zone, but...
Okay.
All right, never mind.
There's the utility
there we go.
Endpoint. They want to try and shut down any of your praises right there, and they used that so well in their second round that they won. Now they're going to use it right here in round 11. Let's see whether they can actually turn it to their favor. They've done serious damage to the 3era side, who are making a ton of noise out towards long. I think the CT side players over here on short will call it out. They've got 1 man in Mighty Max back on a bomb site, ready for the face. And here comes the rush. Smoke's going to go down. Flashbang in for Max. Sprays on the first, takes him down as the bomb drops. Looking back in for the second, can't quite take it, but Luz is still here. 2 M4s on the spray. More takes 1 back, but the backstab coming in as well from Pulse. And they have no idea about this. Thomas still taking that one facing from the front. Traded right back from Crit, but he's in a 1 versus 2. And again, Pulse on the backstab. When is he going to execute the one shot he needs? A little bit late to the party. Crit has a nice position that he could work from, but again, 20 points of health. The face he takes is going to be his last, and Pulse will finally get the 3rd on the board for Endpoint.
Yeah, Pulse with that flank, you're calling it, came in there, and Crit, even despite hearing the shots, still didn't manage to exactly pinpoint his location, ended up getting punished for it. So, Endpoint on a buy managed to get Lazar, although Lazar, we say how strong he was with New York, got that double kill with the rifle as well last round to hold that site. Very nicely done by him. He's got that AWP, and now 3era's economy is starting to get pressured. It's not looking in great shape, and we're sort of seeing a flip of Endpoint dishing out a taste of 3era's own medicine.
Can they keep it up? Obviously, well, last time they got a rifle round, they got 2 in a row a few rounds ago, and then obviously they got reset immediately off the back of that. 3era could do the exact same thing right here with the AKs and the AWP. No money in the bank for Endpoint. They've got to play this carefully. They have to get the victory here in round 12. We've got 3 players defending B, 2 on the bomb site, 1 from heaven, and 2 more on the short position. Oh, sorry, from the mid position, excuse me, on the A bomb site. Smokes and flashes are going to come through from Endpoint and try and forego any sort of 3era early push. But they will set themselves up for it. 3 players out towards Monster and Short. And 45 seconds left. Also going to try and find an angle against him here. If he can get towards that corner, that could be great against 3era. But here they come. Nades out. The Smokes are ready to go down. Places Gray on the first. Cannot make it work, but it doesn't matter for Thomas. He locks them all down, and Mighty Max towards Short cleans up the backup. Hits a 4th for Endpoint. They're not getting reset. In fact, they're going to put 3era in economical deficit.
I was like, no way does Ardea lose it, but it doesn't even matter. He didn't even have to kill anyone because Thomas just 1, 2, 3 planted his feet, swung out, and just sprayed them down and got the triple. Very nicely done by that. Very good coordination between the 2 players. That's what happens when you have teams which stick together for time. They know how each other plays, they know how each other communicates and understands, and even more, grenade damage, HE damage coming out. Crit down to 35 HP. Mr. Hoy, 71. Not looking great for this round for 3era. Then again, they're on pistols, so we don't expect much. Emmy, though, managed to find the first frag of the round onto Pulse.
I have a bad feeling about this. Unfortunately, Ardil's going to put my feelings to ease, so it's fine. Morg traded back.
Got a bad feeling about this.
You never know. I mean, there still could be a chance. They are aggressing relatively well with these pistols. You know, that damage is coming through. Pulse and Mighty Max restore order to the server. They still get a pick on the way back out, and Mighty Max on just 8 HP.
It's fine. Endpoint had the high ground, so 3era underestimated their power. Get punished for it as well. Thomas takes him down.
Nice reference.
Thank you. 8-5. Endpoint closing the gap. 2 rounds left of the half. 14. I think definitely 3era has done a lot better than expected. Where I think it's enough remains to be seen. If they can get these next 2 rounds, I'd say this is 3era, especially if they could win the pistol round as well. I think 3era is almost, they're in the driving seat at that point. Endpoint just needs to play perfectly from that point onwards. They can't make many mistakes. However, I think an 8-7 half, even with 3era playing above our expectations on this map, I still think Endpoint will have it. This is their map. We said that they're very strong on it. So,
well, at least 3era are still managing to hold a decent fight. You know, at least they're able to get 8 on the board, which is something that we're unable to do in the last map. So credit to them for making massive improvements. But Endpoint, as you say, a lot of firepower, a lot of potential going into that second half. We'll play around ready for 3era's default as they move into the mid position more than anything else. Also in connector where Artis is pretty far pushed up. If they go down here, they've got 2 players on the crossfire. This could get very, very ugly indeed. But fortunately, not going to go through that door. It's Pulse behind the smokes, hearing the scoping. Is he going to be ready for the boost though is the real question. Backed up into the corner. He's going to wait for 3era to cross back behind him. Molotov coming out from the CT players. Is actually not flag out towards the start area. Pulse desperately trying to get one back on Emmy, but he's not ready for Mr. Hoy. 4v3. 3era trading. And Peter is also out here. The other side. Oh, he sees the flash. The other side. Oh, great flick that was missed barely. Naves back in against Bog. Will do some damage in trade. Oh, and a great flick comes in anyway for the AWP. 3 versus 3. Retake in operation. As Crit and Danny back to 1 versus 2. Pizza, last man left, taps the bomb for the first time, looking back in over towards the mid position, but Danny's peeking in from bathrooms, second face, and he's focusing on his one angle. He's not ready for the second flick. Does spot the spray, and Danny takes him down. 3era with their 9th on the T-side.
9-5 Crit again, opening things up, being absolutely massive, and that's 19 kills from this half, being an absolute monster. Lazza though played exceptionally well, finding those 2 frags and got Endpoint back in that position where they could win it. Unfortunately about the 1v1 was predicting the other angle. The T was holding from, if T had like 2 options there and is a 50-50 chance he's going to be in either place, and he rolled the dice and he got it wrong, which is unfortunate because Lazza would have definitely have won that. Maybe I think that way. Maybe it's shaking him up a bit as Mr. Hoy absolutely destroys him, and Ardilla as well, getting straight onto the site, and it looks like we're seeing a 10-5 half for 3era unless Mighty Max and Pulse can pull out something absolutely exceptional in this round.
Damn near miraculous at this point. And that spray is nowhere near miraculous, let's put it that way. 10-5, as you say, favor to the T side. All 5 staying alive at the end of it. Well played to the 3era squad. It wasn't the easiest of times, though. No, wasn't the easiest of times at all. Obviously, they had a bit of a comeback coming in from Endpoint at the end of that one. It looked like they were going to have a decent CT half after all. But this is where the T side starts. This is where 3era will have a lot of problems. Obviously, Endpoint known for being an aggressive force. They are very, very talented. Great T side of cash. Will not translate over to their map pick of overpass. We're about to find out. Double flash and smoke from Mighty Max. Everybody else with default pistols and Kevlar in the entire server. It's 3era taking a stack towards B. Contact play for Emmy. He's going to be pretty far back for a contact play. And as soon as he gets face down, if he gets taken out, he's going to be the A bomb site pretty much open for business as soon as. Endpoint will not play immediately in towards it, though. Boost coming in from 3 areas. They try and hold down the B bomb site. Eventually, Endpoint will start to back up towards the mid positions now. It's over
And this is like, this is why 3era, you saying about having a contact play and playing so far back, is such a mistake. You got one player on A, you're giving all that map pressure over, and they're about to get punished for it. There's only one player on A side, and he has to hold this. Otherwise, the map is completely open. The bomb side is open, but he managed to find a first frag, and that might just be the delay that they needed. 3era scrambling to try and rotate into position. Gets boosted up. Backs down from that position. 4 versus 4, 3 versus 3. Bomb is down. Not planted for them, planted for the toilet position. Mr. Hoyt going very aggressive, checking his angles. That play there, Pizza. Too quick on that. Mighty Max as well finds one. Gets traded off by Danny. Danny Boy, the hero. Oh my god! What the hell was that? Danny Boy coming in clutch. 3 kills that round. Jesus Christ. Like, we said if 3era, if they stand a chance, the individual play just needs to step up, like, massively. They need to get those insane plays, and we're seeing it right here.
And that's the kind of play that gets 3era pumped. That was ridiculous, Danny.
I'm surprised we didn't hear it scream. Like,
I'm
I don't know,
sure,
we were screaming.
I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure they screamed. We were screaming pretty loud in here, right? There's still a glass window separating a lot of us. Man, that was insane. I did not expect those 2 headshots to line up for Danny. That is, again, something that I don't think I'm going to see for a very long time in UKCS. It's just absolute clinicalness coming in from that man. Endpoint, however, disappointed. Be back in with the AKs and 2 Deagles on Ardy and Mighty Max. Still got the 3 rifles out to try and play with the rounds of defaults, and they're going to be playing in towards the mid position with 3 players out there. 2 more back of Monster, Thomas and Pulse. Don't know if there's any CT aggression coming through. There is. That's what's behind the Monster area. The smokes is all that's going to keep them separated. Thomas will try and look for this first rank on Mr. Hoyt, but nothing can be found by the T side. Doesn't matter too much about what they're going to find here. The B-bomb site is going to be the target anyway. Play with a great chance. Incendiary keeps Thomas held back. Nicely timed from 3era, but the execution will be here. They got the flashes and smokes. Good face. RB switches out to the knife, and that'll be the opening kill for Thomas in the round. And that cover's been blown. There's the element of surprise is completely gone, and they've got to take a second frag on crit. They've got to trust that they can break into the bomb site. Bonk will take down one in the back line. Danny's still here towards water. Trades out towards the pistol. He's lost his gun. UMP back out. 3v3 retake. The Mighty Max trades right back. Danny will get onto the bomb site, leaves it all on Artist. Back over towards Short. He's got a face. Spray, take one. Back in for the second, but the aim punch is going to hurt him. And the defuse will come through for Morg. A 12th on the board for 3era. Endpoint. Another very, very risky force buy, but it doesn't work out for him.
And this is what I said was like, the ability of 3era is the fact that any player can pop off at any time. Like, we had crit with a monster first half. And it's not even him, like, pulling out the stops. It's Mog and Danny. It's their show this half. Like, it's the fact that these players can step up. And I think Endpoint has shown, like, Luzzers with the, like, the collaterals can pull out those insane plays. Ardilla and, of course, Thomas the Tank Engine, you know, just steamrolling his way through 3era. It's possible, and I think they need to show that mechanical prowess because they're getting beaten. And in a way that they shouldn't be. And if that starts happening, maybe it's not a man chance that they got to play more like a team. And maybe this will be it. 4-man push.
Ooh, nice shot from Mr. Hoy. That's a nice one against the rifles, but Endpoint will try and right back into the bomb site. Danny takes control, but only for so long. The trades are so good from 3era as well. Bomb plant can get denied. They've got a boost coming in towards Short, and Emmy will be able to take down Pulse just in time. Fortunately, there's plenty of time for Endpoint to try and get this back. Nade tanked by Pulse. And we'll try and face with the bomb. This is a very dangerous, risky move. If he goes down, that'll be round over, but he does take crit with him, so Mog is all that remains. Both players realizing that this is the second player they're holding towards the B-bomb, so they're going to backstab on the backstab.
Oh,
that's backstab section right there.
Not ring around the roses again. Please no. Nah, Mog's on this. Mog's on this. He's wise. He knows he gets the first, he goes for the second. Oh my god! Mog, what the hell is going on? Danny, Mog, crit stepping up big time for 3era, pushing their advantage even further. Again, a 1vx situation where 3era comes out on top.
What a play from Mog. We had high hopes and high expectations for him. And a 1v2 clutch. Endpoint are getting shut down. 3era look really, really good. With CZs and P250s out, they could be on to get at least close to map point. Endpoint, you've got 3 more tactical pauses, boys. Like, now's about the time you start using some. You're going to have maximum phones. You're going to have to buy in the next one. Like, this is not what you expected to see at all from these boys. They're getting cleaned up back towards long as well. 3 frags traded back for 1, now 4. As Laza, like, just what can you do? What can you do about this? Endpoint are getting crushed by 3era. We were expecting this to be a quick 2-0. We were expecting Endpoint to be just shutting down 3era on their map of Overpass. I'm honest to God impressed. I'm speechless, I'm impressed. That shot was impressive, at least from Laza.
He's got a sight, he can plant this.
How much more can he take though? 40 seconds on the clock for a retake for 3era. Obviously headshots count because there's no head Kevlar for Laza. And all 3 players are going to come in from short. This is going to be a lineup, a choke for the man, but no, they're ready for it. Nade on to the ramp position. If that wasn't enough, Crick just got a fantastic headshot to shut him down. 14-5. Endpoint, please, for my sake, take a tactical pause.
What was the score last game? Was it 16-5?
16-5.
So 3era might be about to do what Endpoint just did to them. Why is this happening? Like, what's going on? Why is everyone winning each other's maps? I don't get it. Like, this is the most UKCS thing I've ever seen. Like, just nothing makes sense. Like, and then 3era's got something which is working, and then they're going and adapting it again. 2 AWPs. Double AWP setup. Emmy and Morg this time. See, that makes the difference. Emmy playing so aggressive with it. Pushing right into this position. Very far up, far away from the site. And Pulse is around that angle as well. It's whether he pushes that far up on his own. He's got the sound cue knowing that there is a player around there. There we go. That's one of the AWPs down. Pizza opening things up for Endpoint. That might be the
way in.
The way in, the element that they need to cause some kind of reaction within the rest of the team to get them to just explode 3era and try and shut themselves out of the game. It's not going to be the case. Ardilla does manage to find one, so it's a 2 versus 4, so it's looking a lot cleaner for Endpoint. But not if Emmy's hitting shots like that. Finds Pulse out in the open. 2 versus 3. One will go down on the A site. And now this is, see, the thing is, although 3era has looked amazing, they've lost so many players on CT side each round, so that means their economy's not in a great position. Does Mr. Hoy and Emmy go for this? At this point, Emmy should be backing off. But instead, he's going to decide to try and run for this. I suppose they have the round advantage. That's why he knows where the AWP is. Not long on the clock.
Molotov going to go down. Smoke can go on the bomb site right here, but Emmy's got to stick the hold defuse. 5 seconds. Spraying from Mighty Max, baited out, and Luz are going to move forward against him.
Oh.
Losing life. Hang on a second. Defuse being stuck. Defuse denied.
4
Luzza.
kills for Emmy there. If
Yeah,
he managed to find
on
Luzza.
for the ace right there. That would have been insane. Again, another fantastic clutch play.
And again,
3era.
a different player stepping up for 3era. It's like each time they're like, no, it's your turn. You have an ace.
You get an ace.
Yeah,
You get an ace.
You get a
You
clutch
get an ace.
situation.
You get a 1vx.
Yeah.
You get a 1vx.
They're taking it in turns here, but it was the X factor for Endpoint was Luzza in this AWP. Is finding that opening frag. He's out-trading, Emmy as well. Seeing a stack on the B site. He's playing a lot slower, acknowledging that 3era is definitely in the driving seat, respecting him enough that they might try and pull some cheese plays or something and don't want to get caught out by it. But Emmy in this position, he's going to peek around the corner, doesn't quite find Thomas, and that'll be the opening kill given over to Endpoint. 14-6 is the score on the board. But things have slowed down now, but this round should be Endpoints.
Should be.
I say
Being
should.
The keyword there. 3-man stack into connector. Trust that they can get some frags. They do get one out for it, but all 3 players have been spotted. And eventually Pulse will clean it up out towards the short position. So fortunately, it is going to be an Endpoint round. They do get away with an AK on Mr. Hoy. Ooh,
that's two AKs held on. They can go pick that up as well.
There you go.
And that'll do 3era just fine. Thank you very much. That, in fact, almost gives them a gun round in the next half. If I'm trying to do the math in my head, I think roughly they should have some semblance of buy. Emmy might be able to get an AWP with Kevlar without helmet, or maybe without armor at all, go glass cannon. But they should have, with the AKs, I think, at least with their round bonus, it's definitely worth them forcing up, especially as they're on a first round loss bonus anyway. So it makes its effectiveness that they can go for it. They're in not a bad position, economically at least. See what the buy is going to be. Yeah, and we are seeing the force up. I'll just be interested. There's the AWP. So I thought it was going to be glass cannon and Emmy. 2 AKs, 2 M4s, and an AWP. Quite a lot of utility, all things considered. 3 defuse kits as well, but the rest of Endpoint does have everything they could possibly want at this point. But we're seeing an adaptation again, mixing things up. 3era playing very aggressive along A-long, taking full control of that side of the map. And
Mighty Max is ready for
the
it.
timing, I don't know if Mighty Max saw them though. Like I think he might
No,
be
they
just
crept around, but he's certainly ready for any CT type presence. This flank, however, might be crucial. It depends what he checks. Just caught in the back. A nice frag from Mog to start things off. And Endpoint know that their entire setup is completely blown. They also know that the CTs are pushed down A, so there's no one on the bomb site to defend it. The bomb will get planted as a result. Rotations from Emmy and
the flank from Pulse though. Look at the minimap, look where he is. Depends how quickly he can get there, but if he can find these CT players, that could be huge. Completely turn this game around, but it's the time, it's how long they've got. The T's have to hold off for as long as possible till Pulse can get in position, but not like this. Thomas gets blinded. Thomas, the tank engine, gets completely derailed on the side. Lazar with a beautiful first shot, but Danny is staring down at him. Danny boy, oh my god, what is going on? He's held off for just enough time. Crit is going for the defuse. He's got 5 seconds left. I don't believe it. I don't think he's on the side. Oh my god, Pulse gets it. What the hell? They held off just long enough for Pulse to get there. And Lazar with an insane shot, picking up those 2 kills as well. 3era, like, I don't want to say they threw, but like, if they were just a tiny bit quicker, if they managed to shut down Lazar, if Danny was managed to do that rather than jumping off the box, went for the contact play instead, it could have been a very different round. Whew.
Oh, so you know what, there's a part of me that thought to myself, 2 seconds, they're not going to get this defuse. There's no way. There is no freaking way. But they did, unfortunately. And of course, the T side up against Polyco of the CTs. I mean, Danny's going to get 2 deagle shots, so credit to him on that front. But that may be all they can find. 2 rifles to be saved. So Emmy goes falling. Mog also falls back. No, he gets another frag. And damage done to Ardis. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. A kill against him, but Mighty Max quickly to trade it back. That's a very expensive round for Endpoint once again. Their money hasn't recovered massively, so they're going to have to invest on every single player. Pete's might be able to drop for Thomas as well. Yeah, that's exactly what they're going to do. Drop for Thomas the AWP back on Lazar himself. If they hadn't saved that AWP, I feel like that probably would have been a bit more of a far gone round for Endpoint. But 14 on the ball for 3era, and they're going to buy back in with a double orb setup once again. Now on 4 rounds of loss bonus. Max in the next. Endpoint still grinding their way back to 3era's lead. Only 5 rounds to go. And they'll be completely equalized against the CT side.
5 rounds, but have 1 round of safety net, just in case things go wrong where they make a mistake. 3era, though, is circling as well. They can close this out. Last time, they had a double ult set up. Lazar beat Emmy in the sniper battle. See if it's the same, playing a little more passive, less aggressive than he was last time. He's playing his Ardilla in connected position. Mighty Max is going to rotate around and join him. Looks like the bomb is swinging towards this B site, but that's into the waiting hands of 3 CTs. Not a lot of utility left on either side. Flash is thrown out now. Crit managed to avoid it, swings round, finds Ardilla, doesn't find Mighty Max behind him, but Mr. Hoy is there, can't get the shot, and it's a decimation of 3era on that site. 2 players left, no cash in the bank either. They've got to make a decision to save. Or maybe they can go for it, especially if they're hitting shots like that. Mog is trying to open things up. Lazar to the right. I don't think he predicts that there might be a player there. 19 HP gets burnt out, and they should make the decision to save, which they are. Taking their money into taking the guns into the next round. What loss bonus are they on? Is it 4th or
Fifth round loss bonus.
5th round loss bonus. Hooey.
Hooey is right.
Yeah. Struth. This is like we don't want to trash talk 3era or anything, but this is way better than we were actually expecting. Like, and you can't blame us. After last game, we thought they were down for the count. That's their own map choice, and they got battered on it. And for them to be playing like this is kind of nuts. However, Endpoint are closing the gap. We said that Endpoint would be way stronger in their T side.
It took them a while to get started,
Yeah.
but they really are, man.
Yeah, they've gotten going. And 3era, if they can... Like, that's the thing which is so scary about Endpoint, is 3era are way in the lead. They just need 2 rounds. Endpoint needs to get 4 in a row just to tie. But I can still see it going Endpoint's way. Like,
yeah,
that's the thing, is because on this CT side, although 3era has some phenomenal players by Mog, Danny, and Emmy, it still ended up being a 1v1 situation, a 1vx situation. They've never had a full 5 just ace the entire team and get it done with. It's always been right down to the wire. And that's the thing, is it seems Endpoint, Luz is getting warmed up with that AWP. You know, Mighty Max is starting to hit those shots. And if it takes them to perform that well, 3era, to beat Endpoint by such a close margin, if Endpoint just shifts one more gear ahead, I think Endpoint could just run away with it.
Well, the T side, again, 4 rounds away from coming back into equalized territory. And 6 rounds from winning the map and the series outright. Small technical problems there for the 3era side. They're going to quickly be able to get back into this one. There we are. Freeze time has been cancelled, as they will be down to what here? They've got the AWP and the M4 from the last round. P250s, Deagles, and CZs. But everybody else, it's not going to be a pleasant buy for the CT side. AWPs, AKs out for the Endpoint, meanwhile, just means that they're perfectly set up and they're ready just to shut this entire round down.
I think this is definitely the correct decision. Don't invest too much into this round. It's getting very close to the end. What they want to do is use these pistols aggressively, get map control, try and, you know, get a couple of picks, even if it's trading all 3 of them just for a few AKs, just to damage the T-side economy. But as soon as they start losing the round, they need to be disciplined, and Mog and Danny need to get the hell out. They need to save that weaponry because they can't afford to lose much more. And Mog might be about pressured, playing such an aggressive position, gets punished for it, flash comes out, and that's when the AWP's down. I don't think that they should even contest this at this point. Maybe maybe chuck the pistols at them. Try and play for an exit, get some kind of weaponry, because the chance of you actually being able to pull this out is so low. Thomas finds the feet of Emmy. I think that's going to be the round. 14-11 to Endpoint. To 3era, sorry. Endpoint extending that win streak that they're on currently.
Bringing themselves closer and closer to the CT lead. The countdown begins. 3 in deficit. 3era. And just chuck those pistols at the exits. Endpoint's a bit closer than I really like on Danny. He's all the way down the connector halls. So he's not quite close to the T side as of yet, but it's a little bit more closer than I'd really like. Back to park or top of long is where I pleasantly play it, but I'm not a pro player, so what can I say? Endpoint getting out completely flawlessly as well, not a single point of damage done to the entire T-side force. And that means that they can build up their money, only buying into a little bit extra utility, everything like that. AWP and AK still out for everybody here.
Okay, this is where it gets interesting, right? Because if 3era lose everyone in this round, they still just have enough rounds to play to be able to fall by again, but that either will be on match point for Endpoint, or it'll be tied 14-14. Like it'll be incredibly close and be a do or die situation. And it's looking like it might go that way. Emmy playing incredibly aggressive with that AWP. I don't quite understand the positioning. And it seems like they look a bit lost. Endpoint just being an absolute unit playing together. And this is where 3era need to make a decision. Are they going to save? Are they going to go for this? They're going to choose to save, it looks like. They've got 3 weapons. Cash isn't in hand. Maybe it means they might be able to squeeze out a gun round sooner rather than later, but Endpoint 14-12. They're closing the gap. They're 2 rounds away from tying up the scoreline.
The countdown continues. 2 in deficit now. And as you say, 3era are going to decide to save it because Danny's still got $4,000. But if they get any kills for Endpoint, this is going to get really awkward for them. Dropping down. Oh, he heard the scope as well. He knows the AWP is close. You know how close though. We're just right around that corner. he knows he's pinned. He knows what he's gotten himself into. That one little drop has kept him completely suppressed. Pulse will try and find an angle as they will start to peek together towards it. The damage will be done. The CTs are cleaning them up. Endpoint are fortunate in that they have loads of money. But if this was a case where they were just getting back, they were just starting to bring some rounds back into their favor, this would be a very dangerous time for the T side. So
that was again, completely right decision by Endpoint, but 3era setting up that crossfire, not taking a single chance, not going to lose a single member, and that sets them up really well. Again, still not in a great position, economy-wise, but only one AWP this time. That being said, Emmy has been playing super aggressive with this AWP, and it hasn't been working out for them, so it might be best him being in a rifle position, playing from the toilets, trying to play a sort of flanking position. Mog, though, with that AWP, if you look at the minimap, playing very aggressive all the way up party. But there is one player, Mighty Max, who might cause him a bit of grief.
Towards the monster push where Luxor will try and play from it, or he's looking for that opening frag on a CT overextending. Nade's in as well coming in from the T side. They're trying to see if they can prompt out a bit of damage. Mistake. The 3era side, there it is. The mistake given up by Emmy. The Tracer's seen, and they'll punish him by wall banging him right back through the wall. 42 HP to start things off. Endpoint in the advantageous area. Even more damage coming in. It's minimal from the nades. Not quite the same amount we've seen against the T-Con stack or the monster stack they've had out so far. Mr. Hoy receiving damage from the Molotov, forcing him back into a much more aggressive position. There's 4 players on this B bomb site. Endpoint, I don't think they know this. It all comes down to the damage, all comes down to the trades. It's crit. First man to face against Mighty Max as this smoke starts to clear. And the foul flash back in as Thomas gets down 1-2 trades come back, but Pulse with one more of his own. 3 versus 3. Crit's going to rotate back away from Rat, but he gets shut down by Pulse's quick headshot. Emmy tries to back the Molotov down as they extend towards Pulse's position. Not quite. Bomb right at the default. The AWP missing 3 HP for Mog. And Endpoint keep the streak rolling, it seems. Emmy, a 1v2 clutch on 42 points of health, catching one towards the edge of the smoke. Hold on. He's not done just yet. It all comes down to Luzza. We'll hear him drop. Knows exactly how to play this. It all comes up to Emmy with a spray. Can he really get the 3K? Can he clutch it? The fuse kit. No smoke for the bomb. Tapping it once, expecting short control, but no. Luzza gets the AWP back out. A 13th for Endpoint. 3era got close, but in this case, it's no cigar. No
cigar at all, and Luzza's just sitting there with the smoking barrel of his gun as he takes down 3era. Circling that dream of 3era, like coming back to win on Endpoint's map, is slowly dissipating. Because wasn't it 14-5 originally? So has Endpoint won 8 rounds in a row, something like that, which is just insane at this point. They've played it perfectly up to now. But there's the first round in, I think, so many where we've actually seen this aggressive position by the AWP player work out from that situation. But Emmy gets caught off by Pulse. They had a perfect opening. They got the frag. No player to back him up. Instead, playing aggressively together, they're playing aggressively separately, and they get punished for it.
2-for-1 trade. Endpoint, they did lose that opening frag on Mighty Max, but the AWP was taken out so quickly it didn't even matter. As 3era leave one man back on the bomb site. Danny with a hell of a task to do, seeing the smoke coming in. Just going to fall back and wait for backup to arrive. Well, Incendiary down short, try and suppress them, but no one's coming in from short. Nade only going to do a little bit of damage to Thomas. And Flashbang is going to try to suppress the bomb. Faces it, tries to go towards Thomas on the bridge. He gets taken down. 4 versus 2 scenario. Crit and Mr. Hoy, the last 2 players left alive for 3era. And they're going to save. They're going to rotate. 14 all. The countdown hits 0 here, Novi. Endpoints have managed to find themselves. This is a ridiculous number of rounds in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 rounds in a row.
It's about to be 9.
It's about to be 9. Yeah. It's about to be 9 rounds in a row for Endpoint. A tactical pause has been called by 3era. They were in a very similar situation on the Endpoint side of things at the end of the last half. They had to make a change, and they made a change and a half right here. 3era on the cusp of losing control of this one again. Endpoint already a map up in the series. It may end up being a 16-14 as well here, man.
Yeah, it could be 16-14. 3era coming so close, yet so far. They will be forcing up into this round. No AWP for any of the players. Instead, sticking to all rifles. Utility coming out as well. So that was made quite early into the timeout, so presumably this is more about strategy, about where they're going to go. That's what they're talking about now. Full buys coming across the board. The thing is, like, 3era has been trying to do the same thing the last, like, 4 or 5 rounds. They try and put one of these players who's having a good game, like Emmy or Mog, in these very precarious positions. And they end up getting punished for it very hard because Endpoint just groups up. So even if you get one of them, you immediately trade back, and there's nothing you can do. 3era, I think it's fine to play aggressive, especially on the A side, as long as you back off afterwards. Get the information, even if you don't get a frag, just get the information, back off, and then you can call in the rotation later. I think playing so aggressive so early on is a little bit of a mistake at this point. But we'll see if 3era's made any adaptation. Or will it be the same? Will it be a eulogy that we'll be reading out after this game in honor of the fallen 3era players as Endpoint tries to win, how many, 11 rounds in a row to shut them out.
They're fighting valiantly to try and stay alive. As you say, the eulogy is being drafted up by the Endpoint players. 3era have left one man close. Nading against him, lands a bit deep. And he may be able to work behind the T side as well. Missing from Pulse against him. He takes the first man down, falls back. The backstab, Emmy's going to cover him off. Lazar gets a quick trade back to a 2-for-1 overall. Again, it's favor of the 3era. And they just have to fall back and maintain control. Emmy caught between 2 flames. He's burning alive. And he goes down. 3era lose their man advantage. It's frustrating to watch. The Endpoint, it must feel so satisfying to be at. Crit going to try something back to the of his own. He's back towards Connector, just in case Endpoint decide to rotate away. With Resistance coming in towards the A-bomb site, this might end up being a crucial position for Endpoint. The bomb out towards long. It looks like they're committing straight towards this. Out past the flower pot. It's Mighty Max up first with the AK-47. Looking for the first face back in 3era. This is their only chance at this one. 40 seconds on the clock. Endpoint getting ready to make a move.
30 seconds coming through. There's utility Molotovs, flames firing, flying overhead. Sorry, flash goes out from Lazar. Mr. Hoy blinded on site, gets picked off by Mighty Max. 2 versus 3. Bomb will be going down with 20 seconds remaining. It is all on Crit from this flank, but Mighty Max is on that read. I don't know if he heard him or he's just predicting he's being told to cover this angle, but Crit's got to predict this is kind of an off angle for him. Does see him, does spot him out. The information is given over. Ardilla takes him down. Danny is left. Oh my god, the hero gets 2 kills. He knows where the last is. Throws the frag grenade around the corner. He tries to go for it. Lazar shuts him down. 15-14 match point, series point. Endpoint is poised to go into the finals.
There's no way. 10 rounds in a row for Endpoint. 3era. Look at all that yellow. Look at all that yellow on the scoreboard. That's insane. Endpoint will make the comeback happen. They have taken the lead away from 3era. They're now just 1 step away from turning this whole thing to their favor. They are being suppressed by 3era utility, but they're coming back with their own nades. Emmy down to 47 points. And Mog with an AWP and Connector. It's Ardis right behind him. He's going to get caught off guard. First frag to the favor of Pizza. Ardis also waiting around for rotations to come in from the 3era side. They've gone for this backstab once before, but no one will go for it again. Endpoint decide to hold the line. Back here towards mid. A face in from Crit could turn the whole tide of the matchup, but no. He's just going to wait. And Endpoint as a result. Seeing no more resistance over to the A-bomb site, they would expect a passive rotation to come through. But now the bomb will make its way in towards B. This could be a split of ages, and the only man to defend it is Crit as well. Mr. Hoy and Danny well out of position on the A-bomb site. So Crit, as soon as he goes down, I think if he can't get this defensive together, that's going to be it for 3era. 45 seconds for Endpoint, they're going to make a hit.
45 seconds, as you said, remaining. Thomas looking to be the tank. Entry fragging, walking in. He's trying to find Crit. He's fading it out. He will get the headshot somehow. A jumping headshot. 3 versus 5, and that's the first. The second frag down, and is looking in dire straits for 3era at this point. They need a miracle. and he needs to find that frag, and it's not going to be enough. Danny boy, Danny the hero from last round who kept them in this game, has to pull something spectacular. Gets the first, but it might be too little too late. Sprayed through the wall, taken down. That'll be Endpoint somehow winning 11 rounds in a row. 16-14, winning their own map, bringing themselves into the final. kicking and screaming, dragging their team through the fire and through the flames just to get them there.
Quite literally in some
Like-
cases as well. Like